I have something I have to say, something I must get off my chest. For most of my life, the majority of my life, I thought superheroes were incredibly lame. I have put on a facade of loving them when indeed I despise them. Hence my hate for Batman and my love of Joker. I tend not to like superheroes because, to be honest, I am not fond of the tight outfits, aka costumes. And I know costumes are very iconic, but my mind cannot get out of thinking how uncomfortable these superheroes are flying around in spandex and plated armor on top of it. When Batman turns, he can't move his neck, and I think that is where my hatred probably started. But eventually it did come around. I did end up enjoying the Marvel movies. I do like the Spider-Man games. I played all the Batmans. So that leads me to talking about a game that honestly I did kind of, I didn't have the highest hopes for, but I decided to play it because I had to take a little trip. And I actually finished the entire game on my flight on my Nintendo Switch. That game was indeed Dispatch. Thank you so much for clicking on this video. My name is Jahbu, aka Jahbu, lifelong gamer, lifelong artist that love to talk about the visuals in games. Before you grill me in the comment section, yes, I am currently playing the community's choice, which is Metaphor ReFantazio. But like I said, I was on a plane ride. I got the opportunity to go to the beautiful, beautiful country of Morocco. It was fire. It was insane. I was treated very well. And to me, every time I have a trip like that has such a big impact on my life, I feel reinvigorated to make more work. So today, my wonderful people, I have some good news. I love Dispatch. It is really good. I have some pros and I have some cons. And I think that this might be a two-part series because I want to come back and talk about the story, but I feel like I must play it twice to get a full grasp of the characters, their motives, their origins, what they're going through. I ended up buying the game twice, ironically, because of actions from our dearly beloved Nintendo. Hot take, I want Critical Role. Quick note about Critical Role. Critical Role makes two of the dopest shows that I have ever seen. That, for me personally, I'm getting more and more into CRPGs, so The Legend of Vox Machina on Prime Video, alongside The Mighty Nine, I absolutely love. I always walk away watching those shows feeling like I should have played that instead of watching it. I wished they had an RPG. Right? To be completely honest, it was because of Critical Role's association with this project why I decided to give Dispatch a chance, and because it was on sale for a few dollars off. Those few dollars off will make you jump sometimes. I want an RPG Critical Role. If anyone has a family member that watches this video that works for Critical Role, or if you work for Critical Role, please make a full-length RPG. And I got some ideas I'm gonna throw towards the end of this. Okay, so first pro. Some of the cleanest cel-shaded graphics I think I've ever seen, period. I really do dig the cel-shaded style. I think it's actually an underutilized style in the grand scheme of things. Nowadays, most developers would prefer to go with a more realistic style. I think it actually ends up being a limitation of their creativity because you can take a bit more liberties, if you will, with your art style when it's all animated or all drawn or what have you. Because reality is reality, so you can only stretch the boundaries of that, but so far, before it doesn't look like reality anymore. Because I've been playing games for so long, I remember when cel shaded didn't look good. It didn't look good. There's some games, and I'm gonna just throw some up. I'm gonna make a little montage in post-editing, and I'm gonna show you. What we've came from to this is, to me, insane. I really like what this team has done. And I know most of the developers that worked on this game are actually prior Telltale developers. These guys got better. They got better. I remember playing The Walking Dead and playing even up to the Borderlands game. and remembering kind of like the animations being a bit stiff, things being a bit clunky feeling. But in Dispatch, smooth as butter, perfection. I played the Switch 2 version and it ran incredibly well. I was on the plane, I had noise canceling headphones, and I was locked into the beauty of this game. The cell shade, oh, and this is frustrating me more now when I think about it. The cell shaded art style would be such a great visual identity for a Critical Role RPG. Just make it look like Dispatch. I'm still at awe with the beauty. And it's not just beauty, it's also how this thing animates. It's very fluid, very smooth. And yeah, sometimes like some of the walking can look a bit clunky. And yeah, you're instantly reminded that you are in fact still playing a video game. But I feel like the lines are becoming blurred, very blurred. This may be the consequence of more and more 3D being used to make actual anime and animated shows. And Critical Role's shows also are very beautiful shows. I feel like the art style in those are done well as well. So one of the things that holds up the amazing art style and the amazing graphics in this game, cel-shaded graphics in this game, is actually the scaffolding or the skeletal structure holding it all together. And that is the amazing, incredible storyboarding that makes simple scenes feel so dynamic and dramatic. The storyboarding is so important in this game. I know a lot of people do not think about this when they're consuming content. I freaking hate that word content, because I think it is bleach to art, because it kind of takes everyone's visual voice and kind of tucks it into one little package. You know, it's kind of like the McDonald's dude holding up a burger, a hamburger, and calling it a product. If you know, you know. In all of the movies, shows, and in a lot of cutscenes in games, artists storyboard out scenes. Things aren't just randomly placed where they are. Pretty much all of the great shows or the greatest shows have a backbone of storyboarding that is literally hand-drawn, right? Whether it's digitally or traditionally, hand-drawn scene by scene by scene by scene. And I picked up on that a lot in the first few minutes of Dispatch. It makes such a huge difference because it's not only utilizing what the players are saying or going through to suck you in, but it's also using compositional elements to also make the thing look interesting. I was so enamored by the way the thing looked that sometimes I was like, oh, I wonder, oh, look at this composition. Why is this person here versus over here? And I started calculating it, and like the story is just going on, and I'm not even paying attention because I'm so fascinated by analyzing the scene. Oh man, talk about artist problems. Dang, man. Hey. The storyboarding really pays off in this game. It really does. Oh man, it's pretty good. As I explained, I'm not the biggest superhero fan, right? Like I was never really into comics. I did like the X-Men show back in the days, so I would tolerate the superhero, right? Especially if the characters look good. And I feel like here, the characters were well designed. They looked very nice. One of my favorite looking characters is actually Sonar, the Batman. That's so ironic. I swear I didn't intend to do that. That's so ironic. But anyway, I like Sonar's design. I think his bat head, I think his profile looks excellent, either form, either in bat form or human form. I think he looks great. I like Prism. I think Prism looks like a character that party hards and does all her performances to the max. And I can literally see her up on stage, and I must admit again, I'm not really that much into music because I'm too much into games, but I can see her on stage at Coachella or something, doing something crazy, right? I think her design is cool. And at first, honestly, I was like, I wasn't feeling the purple and teal combination, but I got used to it. I typically don't like characters with two different color hairs or hair colors. I like one hair color. And yeah, I even like Robert's design. I think, yeah, okay, yeah, he looks like just a regular dude that works in the office. But I don't think that holds his character back at all. In fact, I am kind of feeling his mecha suit. The one, not the robot, the actual internal suit, like the Zero suit, like Zero Suit Samus. I like that suit. I think that suit looks pretty good, but we didn't get much of it in the story, unfortunately. Now the mech, I think the mech is kind of cumbersome looking, but I'm actually in the process of watching Fallout, and I am a Fallout fan, so cumbersome robots kind of win me over eventually. At first, I'm like, man, they could have made that a little bit more aerodynamic, but I think it makes up for it with the strength. You know, it's not everything needs to be sleek, you know, when it comes to technology. So I'll forgive that. Another weird character that I actually really like, and I like this design, and I know this is not gonna resonate with a lot of y'all, but I actually like Waterboy, man. Like, there's just something about the character that nobody likes, you know what I mean? That is actually really likable, and if given the proper friendships, you can see and witness that person, that character actually blossom into something dope. So I tried that with Waterboy, and I was actually very impressed because I was able to actually make him useful while I was dispatching my heroes. Shout out to Waterboy. Yeah, his powers is very, it's so lame. It's so lame. Shout out to Chase. He's one of my favorite characters, straight up. I like his look. I like his story. I like his part in the story. I think it's fantastic. And I can't wait to play it again so I can make different decisions and see how that impacts whatever. I tend to really like villains in games. I think this actually really honestly started with Sephiroth. I will mention Sephiroth a lot because I think he's a great villain. Even though I don't like him, I absolutely love Sephiroth. So in Dispatch, the main villain is actually a guy named Shroud. And I want to learn more about Shroud because I feel like Shroud is very interesting. I really hope we get more seasons. Hopefully they're working on it right now. So those are all the pros I have for this beautiful gem of a game. Now I must talk about the cons. Okay, so yes, Critical Role on the show side, they know what they're doing, right? On the game side of things, I kind of did not care for the actual dispatching of the heroes. I have a dream. I ain't gonna go MLK, but I have a dream when it comes to Critical Role because I'm looking forward to like their projects in the future or what they're associated with in the future. So I think they should team up with Firaxis. There's a developer called Firaxis that's located out of Baltimore. I believe they're still in Baltimore. They are the guys who made XCOM. They dropped a game called Midnight Suns, another superhero joint. I remember playing that game and feeling so conflicted because I loved the combat in Midnight Suns. It was beautiful. It looked great. It felt great, like all of the moves. You're playing cards and you can feel the impact of Iron Man shooting and blowing up people or Spider-Man kicks. You can just feel it. It feels great. But on the flip side, the story parts, nah, man. Come on, nah. No way. The story parts in Midnight Suns were mediocre at best. We gotta call a buck, right? And I know that's not enough to deter some people from finishing the game, but for me it was. It was, right? I just didn't like the story elements in that game. I didn't like talking to people. I didn't even like how the home base looked, that stupid castle thing. I didn't like any of it, but I love the combat. But in here, it's like Dispatch, I'm like, okay, the story parts are fantastic. I love picking what to say to people, responding as Robert. I love all of that. But when it comes to actually dispatching, and maybe this is because I play a lot of puzzle games and stuff, so I do like a good strategy. Even though I might not be the best, I'd like a good strategy. In contrast to Midnight Suns, Dispatch has the opposite problem of me kind of like losing interest during the combat dispatching part. And yes, I know you can contribute, you can select what stats your heroes get, and it's like the little ping pong thing that bounces around to determine your success rate, which I heard is not really random. It's based off of your stats, which makes a lot of sense. I am now getting into CRPGs, so to me, stat points matters. Here, I decided to have my heroes focused on one particular stat instead of being more balanced. Yeah, the most missions I would fail is probably 3 or 4 on any given level. But I feel like it could have been a lot better. It could have been a lot better in terms, not only in terms of functionality, but it also in terms of the visuals, right? I don't know, man. It was just, I love seeing all the fights in this game. I even love like the jokey fun parts. I had a really good time when the game wasn't being a game. And I don't know, I mean, I guess that's just the style of these games, but I really want an RPG, man. All right, seeing those stat points, man, and picking that only to be like, you go here. Nah, man, I want to experience the stat points. Let me fight. I don't care. I need some combat, man. I need some combat, yo. Like, I think it would have been much better if it had that combat element in there, you know. But I understand this is from the Telltale developers. Maybe they should collaborate with one more. Just add on Firaxis. Add on Firaxis games. Firaxis, Telltale, Critical Role. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go. Anyway. And the next thing, final thing that I'm gonna talk about, my con, is something that duped me, right? So while I was on my flight, right, and I was enjoying my game, I noticed there was a big ass black box. The first time I saw it, it's in the first episode. I saw it and I was like, man, all right, I gotta go in there. I gotta turn off these options, right? Went back to the options and I couldn't find anything about a censorship option whatsoever. So I'm like, man, that's a weird choice. That doesn't seem very Critical Role-y. That seems kind of like, I don't know, just weird. But I couldn't put 2 and 2 together because I was like, look, man, I got this game on sale. It's running great on the Switch. So this version wasn't an afterthought because it runs like a dream. Long story short, when I got back, I looked up on my phone. What's up with the black box in dispatch? Lo and behold, it was Nintendo. It was Nintendo. It was Nintendo. I keep forgetting it. Like, even though most Nintendo fans that I see are actually adults, it's actually made for children, right? When the Mario movie comes out and grown-ass men with children are acting like they got offended because it's appealing to the children, this is some trash. There's not enough conceptualizing in that storyline for me to care. And they throw their nose up. Meanwhile, I'm like, it's for the kids. Like, we have enough adult entertainment. Like, come on, man. I think that's what's really gonna kill off gaming, is the younger generations not having anything to play and just not caring about video games. Or the alternative, play some stupid shit like Roblox. I mean, come on. So I like the fact that Nintendo does look out for the kids. However, that censorship is so terrible. The black box Nintendo, I had scenes that were like 75% gone. I'd rather you just take it out. And here's the thing, I am that guy that I love romancing in video games. But I do not like what romancing comes to, because I think it looks very weird when 2 doll-like things are rubbing together to symbolize what real humans do when we're in love. You get my drift? So I just wish most of these games would fade to black, because the immersion is broken when I see stiffness rubbing against stiffness. I think it's terrible. It's terrible. It's terrible. Yeah, like, we don't need it. However, this is like my 4th however. However, in Dispatch, the scenes actually look nice. From what I can tell, from the 25% top of the screen, I can see it looks good. It looked good. Like, they did a good job. Now, that might change in my next video when I come back, and it's gonna be a spoiler one, so if you didn't play that video game, I suggest you play it. I would not recommend a Nintendo Switch version because of this. From what I can see, I'm gonna have a much better experience without the big black box taking up a large portion of the screen. Like, I know I'm gonna have a much better time, but it's gonna be much more immersive. One more thing. The quick time events, man. Come on, man. Quick time events, QTEs, nah, man. And I know someone in the comments is gonna say, but God of War had it. Yes, I know that. And I didn't really like him in God of War. You know, it is what it is. Yes, I love how beautiful it is, but just play the cutscene. So I'm glad they do give you the cinematic option. I actually left the quick time events on. So my next playthrough, I'm turning them off. They're not necessary. And I won't have the big black box, and I'm happy. So overall, I love this game. I love this game, and I can't wait. As I said earlier, I went back and I bought the deluxe edition, or I think I just said I bought it twice. But I want to support stuff like this. Like, you got to like support the art that you like. If there's a game that you like, and say if you can't afford it in the beginning, just wait. Just wait. Not necessarily in this case, but for most games, the longer you wait is most likely the better your experience will be. The game is all patched up. You got it at a lower price, you know, and sometimes you can get some really good games. Like I've seen The Witcher 3 and all the DLC for like $12. Like that is insane. You know what I mean? So waiting is always preferable when trying to play games or buy games. So support the art that you really like. If you get the game late, you're still supporting the developer in some way, shape, or form. The fact that you support people who like what you like is also another way of supporting that, because you're supporting a community. Like when I'm trying to build over here, you know what I'm saying? So for those of you who already forgot who I am, my name is Jahbu Ori, aka Jahbu. Lifelong gamer, lifelong artist that love to talk about the visuals in games. Like I gotta keep repeating it so I don't forget it, so I can get it right every video. So I've been doing art for a long time, and right now I'm trying to infuse the games into my work. I'm trying to make work that is inspired by everything I'm inspired by. So I am still working on my Tears of the Kingdom inspired piece. It's not done yet. I never rush my art, man. I make sure it's done when it's done. And I do have another painting I'm working on in the background that no one has seen yet, and that will come out the end of the year, because I'm gonna take time. I'm gonna show the people, like, you have to slow down to create what's good. And it's worth it. You gotta let the paint dry, you know what I mean? No more instant nothing. We don't want nothing instant. We don't want instant art. We don't want instant grams. We don't want instant anything. So if you're interested in seeing a small collection of my work, you can head over to my website, jahbu.com, and have a gander. If you're on Instagram and you want to see more of the art side, you can simply follow me at JAHBU_ART, Jahbu_art. Even though I rarely ever post over there. I prefer YouTube, man. I feel like I'm more connected with you guys over here. We got more in common, you know? So, you know, that's how I see it. Anyway, my wonderful, beautiful people, let's communicate. To all the people that put comments in the comment section, I got 100. I can't believe I got 100 comments. I think it's like 99. Somebody add one more in my last video just to make it even. But I got like so many good comments. And it wasn't like just like, your video is awesome. People wrote like paragraphs to me. And I was like, yeah, I don't know what I was doing. This is my second YouTube channel. I tried when I was younger, but I had too much things going on. I got laid off. Like I had kids, so I had to start fresh, man. So I never really got bored of YouTube. I never got burnt out. So I'm back and I'm taking my time. I'm taking it easy. And I'm just excited for the future, man. Like, I don't know, everything seems glim and dark, but the sanguine moment will come true. Anyway, until next time, my wonderful people, one love, peace.